Good morning, everyone. Hope all is going well. And the recent spread of this coronavirus and COVID threat to small businesses and companies and lots of people around the U.S., I decided that I wanted to reach out to small businesses and companies that I work with who are actually doing remote well. And one of the things to think about is it's not just, you can't just dive in to remote work. You really have to plan and be intentional in your planning and go from there. But it is a good time. If you've never thought about it before, now is a good time to think about it. So today I'm talking to my friend Stephanie and client, who is the president at Lawyerist. So tell us a little bit about what Lawyerist does.
Yeah. Hey, Mary Ellen. Thanks. So Lawyerist helps lawyers learn how to run their businesses better. You know, law school is designed to teach us how to think like lawyers, but not really how to run a business, and certainly not how to run a client-centered business. So that's what I get to spend my days doing, and I love it.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then tell me a little bit about like when Lawyers decided to go remote. I think you've always been remote. And yeah, like tell me kind of like what went into that, like the behind the scenes, like, hey, we're going to go remote. Now what?
Yeah. So the team was already remote when I joined, which was nice. And this is really the first position I've ever had that has been remote. But I think that that our co-founders really saw an opportunity, one where the workplace was going, and so they were kind of maybe a little bit ahead of the game and seeing that this is where things probably were headed, and that there was opportunity there as a small business to have a remote team. Obviously we save on overhead not having a really expensive office, which is nice, but also it allows us to employ the best people. So we really have this amazing team, and we're not confined or restricted to just getting people, because I mean the headquarters is technically, I guess, in Minneapolis, but I live in Atlanta, which is awesome because I wouldn't be able to. I'm not moving to Minneapolis anytime soon. They have snow. It's cold. I don't think I could take it or be ready for it. But then it also helps when sometimes, like last year, they had an incredibly large amount of snow days, and they had to stay home for a long time because they just couldn't get out of couldn't get downtown to get to the office. And so it was really nice that it didn't impact our business at all. We just keep going.
I know. So it's a lot of like, when I think about all the things that people have to do to go into it, it's like, all right, do you have the tools in place? Do you have the processes in place? Is it communicated well throughout? How's your team going to connect? All the stuff. But if you would say like one of the biggest challenges, like day to day, in leading a remote team, what would you say the biggest challenge is, and how do you guys overcome it?
Yeah, I guess a couple of things. One, obviously communication is going to be one of your biggest things, and how are you going to communicate? And then setting expectations for the team about what it means to be remote work. And obviously you helped us with this, and we appreciated that, because what we recognized is as we added new team members, people hear remote and flexibility, and then that sometimes they don't always know what that means.
Yes.
And so for us, we function like a normal business. Everybody else, we have work hours, and and we do work. We're not lounging by the pool. I don't know, just hanging out on our phones, right? Like, but sometimes there's that perception that that's what it means. I mean, you can see I'm in my dedicated office. This is where I work each and every day, and I can be really productive here. And so part of it is setting those expectations for your team. What does it mean that you get to work remote? What does that look like? Do you have a dedicated workspace so that you're not just hanging out in your kitchen? Do you have reliable internet? So there's some kind of physical things that everybody on the team needs to have in order for them to have individual success. So that's kind of number one. And then, what are the expectations about when you're available, when you're going to do your work? And obviously in our work, we do need to communicate with each other a lot. I mean, if we were all computer programmers and it didn't matter if I worked at 2 a.m., then I guess I could, then you could work that way. That doesn't work for us.
Right.
we need to be able to talk to clients and talk to each other. And so we keep regular office hours just like we would if, a typical business. And then there's that communication piece and really having it set. How often do we communicate? When do we communicate? Where do we communicate? So we use Slack, for example, for internal team communications.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes we need to have, check-ins and meetings, and we get on video to do that. It's interesting. When I worked at an office, it was very typical to have phone conversations.
Mm-hmm.
Now that I work remote, I never have phone conversations. I only have video conversations.
Absolutely.
Because it's so important that we see each other. And we even do things like we have virtual lunches and virtual, conversations just for fun, because we don't live together or, in the same area. And so we need to connect. We need to find different ways to connect for business and for fun.
Yeah. And you hit on something like huge, because I always say, like, why can't it be fun? Like, I know from working with you guys that you get stuff done. And that's part of hiring the right people that are best for your team is saying, like, this is how we work here, is that we work hard, but we do like to have fun. And part of building that culture and community, which you guys know so much about from doing Lawyerist, is that, and Lawyerist Lab, is that you have to save space to make that human connection, right? It's so important. It's not, there's a huge piece that it's like the work that you do, but you also have to save space to just have a chat or have a Taco Thursday or whatever it is huge in building relationships. I always, Matt and my husband and I talk about that. It's like, how do you build relationships, period, from the start? And if you don't know anything about the other person, if you only heard about their work life, it would not be very interesting or rewarding. So I love that part in remote work. And I love that you guys are intentional about doing that, because it's a piece that can sometimes get overlooked.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, like, what about meetups in person? Like, I would say sometimes teams are like, well, you can't ever have a relationship if you don't meet up in person. How do you guys do it?
So our leadership team meets at least quarterly for our quarterly retreat. So we plan a quarter at a time, and that's really helpful for us. And we do that in person. We have at least one of those meetups a year where we bring in the entire team. And that's really helpful just to see each other. We always do something fun, but we also get work done and kind of plan the year.